Kenny, what did you think the biggest issue was this afternoon for you?
Total domination. I don't know if there's any particular phase, or you could argue they shot the heck out of it, we didn't, but defense, offense, I just think they show why they're champions. They dominated us in every phase. I felt like physicality, shot making, turnover battle. I do think we rebounded decently. That was maybe if we take a positive.
And then even going back to last year against the Thunder, Donovan has struggled from the floor. He was 5 of 18 today. What makes it such a difference?
I mean, Lou Dort is one of the best defenders in the league, and proved it again tonight.
Mark?
I know shots didn't fall, but did you like the quality of the shots?
I didn't like our quite honestly, Mike, like either end. I don't like. It's hard for me to even pinpoint anything, right? Like I just thought it was. I mean, we got to the rim 19 times in the first half, and we couldn't fit. So you say it was threes. We got to the paint. We got to the rim. I'm a kind of disappointed how we read the rim, right? Like they got Chet Holmgren in there. He's probably the #1 rim protector in the league, and we didn't kick it out. It's like we have to understand, So it was physicality and force, but I also think it was our reads in the game. Like we didn't read the game right, and we didn't, just the the decision making was troubling.
Is that part of how OKC forces, not you guys play, but just the way they defend forces guys to make decisions that they're not necessarily making on a night-in, night-out basis?
Yeah, I mean they got great hands. They get in the paint, and then Chet comes over, and they stop you like that. If you try to finish over him, he's elite, forces tough finishes. Then when you try to pivot around, they come, they swarm you, and they take it from you. So, and then offense, they played a lot of 4 guards, 5 guards. They just drove and kick, drive and kick. They had us spinning around. Like I said, just. Total domination. Just got to call it like you see it.
Kenny, they came into tonight's game as bottom 5 in the last 10 for a 3-point percentage, and they tied a franchise record. Is there a point in the season?
Tried a franchise record for percentage?
23 threes tonight. Is there a point in the season when it stops being shooting luck?
I just said it wasn't shooting luck. I said it was everything tonight. Like if I could come up here and say, hey, we didn't shoot it well and they shot it well, I would have said that. But I said it was pretty much every phase of the game.
And then just looking at what Donovan needs when Darius isn't out there, is there a way to help him more when it comes to
Yeah, we got to have other guys, step up and make plays. Our decision making when it wasn't in his hands weren't great. You're going to have that with young guys, playing some guys that aren't used to that role, and especially against the #1 defensive team in the league. So there is some context to that. But yeah, we're gonna have to find a way to help him. I still think it's a case where he's got to keep trusting his guys, keep trusting your teammates. They'll make plays. We just got to do it more consistently.
Spence?
Is there any common thread the last couple of games? Like when you guys turn over the other team and turn it over right back after those turnovers, do you notice that in the last couple?
Oh gosh, that is not a good thing. So we turned it.
Like you get a steal,
yeah,
and then maybe 2-3 seconds after that, they get the possession. Right back.
I was just, it was weird. Like some of the passes we made tonight, and I did feel like in the first half it's a lot. A lot of time we're trying to force feed Donovan, right? And they got a guy like right next to him, and it's like other guys got to bring it up sometimes, right? And if you keep force feeding them, it's going to slow us down, and the other team's going to cause turnovers. But yeah, you should normally, when you force a turnover, you should be able to go and get a good shot. That's usually how it works. So I'm glad you brought that up. It does seem like it happens.
Yeah, and then something stood out to me a few weeks ago when you said you can't play Sam 48. You'd love to play him 48. You'd love to play him every game.
Yeah.
What can you do as a coach to try and get that level of spacing and a little bit more, tension off of the guys when they're a little bit crammed?
Get Sam healthy. I think that's what you do. That's the answer.
Jeff.
Kenny, sometimes, in games like this, you said there's peaks and valleys in a long season. Can you say that about this game, or is there more than that?
I do think these games happen in the NBA, right? You get blown out. I don't feel like we've had a lot of these. I feel like it's been pretty sporadic. This is one of these games. You almost have to flush it. Obviously, we'll look at it. We'll try to get better from it, but we gotta move on. We gotta we'll bounce back. We got a good group. Got to bounce back in Charlotte.
Last one, Jim.
You talk about passing and reads at the rim, that sort of thing. I mean, you guys are missing a pretty big part of your calculus there. How much did not having Darius make it?
I don't want to lean on that. I mean, we were in Philly, and they had Embiid and at the rim, and we made good decisions tonight. Our decision making was just not, obviously 21 turnovers. And like I said, I got to learn. We were trying to get to the rim. We were in there. We were going hard at the rim. But sometimes it's like, okay, they got three guys at the rim. We have to play behind the defense. There's someone behind you throw it to, and then you throw it to the next side. And that's how you. It's hard just to play in a funnel against these elite teams. Just funnel and downhill and just try to. It's like jamming it in this place you can't go. You have to move it around, move that funnel, and then attack on the second side or third side. And we didn't do that. We tried to do it at first intention, and they're too good a team to do that.
With Chet, had a big game tonight. What have you made of his? How does he change the way you have to go?
Yeah, they got a 5-out advantage with him. If he's making those pick and pop threes, and then you're like, well. And that's how they get their drive and kicked it, because now you got to stay home on him, and they're breaking you down. 5-at basketball, when you get an elite center, that can shoot like that, it makes it tough.